Man, it's a beautiful day, isn't it?
It's a gorgeous day.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, you smell something?
Yeah, I do. I think that's a herbicide.
It's down over here, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They probably just sprayed the teas here for a herbicide. Yeah.
Really? I really smell something.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not good.
Well, no, it's okay.
That's okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's okay.
It's just as long as they're in compliance.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, in compliance. And that's a big thing these days.
Really?
Yeah, the landscapers stay in compliance.
Of course it is. I'm from California. I know what compliance is all about. It's pretty tough. You bet.
Toughest in the country, aren't you?
You bet.
Yeah, you got it.
Absolutely.
And you folks out there, I think you know what I'm talking about. We talk about compliance. We have to make sure that we're in compliance with the law, to whatever state we're in. I was originally in Connecticut, and Bill, of course, as he just mentioned, California. So let's just cover a few points about compliance, okay? Number one is that wherever you keep your herbicides, and it depends what state, because the laws are different, but most states, they want to have your pesticides locked up if they're not in use, okay? They're locked, and usually they require a label to be put on there that they're pesticides. So that's key. And even when you're transporting them on your truck, what do they do in California?
Well, you probably want your MSDS sheets in your truck.
Right.
You want your emergency treatment center listed, so there's an emergency. You want them to be locked up so no woman, man, or child can touch the chemicals while in use. All your people need to be certified and trained in the proper application and disposal, so it's loading up and unloading of chemicals as well.
Yeah.
And then you also probably need a spill kit. If you're really doing a lot of chemical work, you need a spill kit just in case. And that's part of the regulations here in California.
Right. And most states also require that you fill out usage reports, you know, how much you're using, what type of chemical goes on to a permanent record. And again, most states require that every year you turn that back in. When I had my company, what I did was I notified the fire marshal. I know you don't have to do this, but I felt really compelled to do it. I notified the fire marshal where my chemicals were in my building and what type of chemicals, because if there was a fire, the firemen need to know what they're up against. And you don't want firemen fighting a fire and breathing dangerous chemicals in, because it throws off a wicked vapor. That way they know in advance and they can wear they can have oxygen with them, so that won't happen.
Yeah, that's a requirement out here in California. And so they have to have a map of where the chemicals are stored and to what degree, and then you have the marker out in front of the building.
Oh.
And then you'll have a lockbox, if you will, with a map, so they can get access to it if they're fighting the fire. So they know the type of chemical that's being stored there, and if they should let it burn or they take it out. So that's really important that you comply with that and talk about compliance.
Good stuff, good stuff. And the other thing is, like with oil, used oil. I find a lot of owners, when they use take the used recycled oil from the mowers or trucks or whatever, they put it into a drum generally, okay? And then I always ask, well, what do you do with the drum, you know? They said, well, we have someone pick it up, or we give it away, or a company picks it up, and that type of thing, okay, just to get rid of it. But I always think you need to make sure you get documentation. Even if you give that used oil away, make sure they sign a receipt so you have documentation of where it went. Because one day, you never know, you want to sell the property, or if you're leasing the property, the attorney for the buyer or the new people coming in, they're going to want to know if you had used oil, where it went. That's really, really important. Because I had a waste oil furnace, and I burned it in Connecticut. I didn't have to worry about it.
Burned oil in Connecticut?
Yeah, you could do that.
That wouldn't work so good out here, I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
And on that oil thing, you should also have a reservoir underneath it in case there's a spill or a leak that captures all that chemical, either chemical, gas, or oil. You need to have a reservoir underneath your storage area. There's a lot to be involved here in compliance, and we're not going to say that we're listed everything here, but our main message here is just be aware of it, be in compliance. It can get really, really expensive if you're not. So be aware of what your local and state and federal laws are that are within your jurisdiction. It's very important.
Hey, one more thing, Bill. I remember that in talking to the fellows from OSHA, you have to make sure that every container, even if it's water, is labeled.
Yeah.
And if it's not labeled, you could be in for a big fine. Every single container that's not labeled with what's inside of it. Even if it's water, you have to do that, okay? So we hope these tips were helpful. If you want further, you want to go deeper into the business of landscaping, just click below. You'll see the Harvest Academy. It's right there. Bill and I have put in just about everything you could possibly want to learn about operating a business. It's all there, and we have it on downloadable guidebooks as well as video, and I really goes in deep. There's short little clip videos. You can really do it 24/7 because I know you're probably too busy right now. So when you have slower times of the year, jump in and you can, learn the parts that you really need to run your business effectively and profitably.
That's good stuff. And listen, I'm gonna get compliant with this golf ball right here. You ready for this one?
I'm ready.
I'm gonna get real compliant. Now watch, keep your eye on the ball, harvester it, and watch this baby fly.
Oh, look at that.
Holy smokes.
Whoa.
Oh man.
I don't think that's in a fairway, Bill.
I think that might be OB.
Yeah, I think it is. That's gone.
I think that's a big lateral hazard is what that is. You're a hazard. Don't become a hazard.
That was not
with your
environmentally
non-compliant.
compliant, Bill.